Howdy, and welcome to the Lost Rider podcast. It's an honor and privilege to address you in the capacity of an interviewer, reporter, and media member. Too many modern media outlets have forgone the integrity and responsibility required of credible information sources. What you will receive here are straightforward discussions with legislators, agency leaders, biologists, engineers, doctors, and countless other experts that have the answers to questions often circulated as kitchen table issues. The title Lost Rider may be thought of literally as well as in the metaphorical sense. While there has been the instance that I was momentarily a little turned around at night in a wilderness area, the idea of being a lost rider in life, well, that fits most folks at some time. These renderings are coming to you in the form of the 25-year-old radio program, The News from the Camp House. It still airs every Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m. Central Time on KULM 98.3 FM out of Columbus, Texas. The original intent was to relate outdoor topics to the general public. Immediately, it was found that all issues are relatable to the outdoors and that people are people. They all play a role and they all have a vested interest. It's this program's desire to answer common questions about how the world works, how it will operate in the future, and what's the holdup? So please listen, enjoy, and never hesitate to contact us with more questions and feedback. Good morning and welcome to this weekend's edition. News from the Camp House, listed and posted to Texas Sportsman Association. This is Herman Brune. This weekend's edition is also brought to us by the Shaw's Bend Social Club, country club for folks who don't have a country club. All right, tell you what, we've got a guest with us this weekend. We're going to talk about bow hunting. All right, the right way to do it is Troy Fowler. All right, Troy Fowler. And what, okay, now who are you with? Yeah, it's Ranch Fairy. All right, Ranch Fairy.
So I have a YouTube channel called The Ranch Fairy, and we'll tell that story in a minute.
All right.
Why I'm the Ranch Fairy.
Okay. All right, no, but, okay, we want to go on into this archery, and we're talking about, having success in the field. You can't just pick up a bow and arrow and go out there and expect success. We're looking at whitetail hunting. We're going to talk mostly about whitetail hunting and what you're supposed to expect, what you can expect, and how to get there with your equipment.
That is 100% true. So, and we're going to set the table. It's always good to have a goal. Mm-hmm. Because you can't measure anything if you don't start with a base understanding between people. I expect to build an arrow system, and I can help you build an arrow system that a white-tailed deer you will 95% of the time shoot through, and often 30 yards it'll go past them.
Okay.
Like they're not visible. And I'm talking quartering to angled, bone-breaking, humorous snapping arrows.
All right, you're talking about building, having the right bow matched to the right arrow, and this is going to get a complete pass through. It don't matter how many bones it breaks, what's going on. No. It's should on a white-tailed deer. You ought to be able to drive an arrow through them every time.
That is correct. Now, I'm not advocating for bad shot placement, but things happen. I'm not going to say intentionally aim at a quartering to deer and try to snap the ball of the humerus off.
Right.
But the ball of the humerus exists, and it could come into play. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you build an arrow system that could do it, but you don't aim to do it?
Right.
You don't need it until you need it.
Okay.
Right? It's like a 300 Win Mag. There's times when you need it. Not a lot.
Yeah. All right.
It's helpful.
All right.
So that's the strategy here, is to build an arrow system that will completely fly through a deer and the reason why we're trying to achieve that is a couple. First of all, I'm a respiratory therapist. I had a cadaver in school. I had multiple tests with a cadaver, with spreaders on the chest open, and there were just pins with numbers and a piece of paper they gave you.
Right.
And you had to know the location of arteries, sections of the lung, heart, all this stuff. So from a physiology standpoint, I've done the testing to know what an arrow should, bullet, whatever.
Right.
Lethal projectile should hit and do. Second, in emergency medicine, if you fall on an impaling object at a job site, they leave it in you.
Right.
They get you to the hospital where there is a surgeon and a bunch of smart people with blood and random and sundry other things that are most likely to help you survive. They get you on the table, then they pull it.
Right.
You do not want the arrow in the animal.
Right. Yes. No. You want an exit wound. That's right.
That, from a physiology standpoint, it blocks blood flow. It can. And then the third point is when it zips through them, like they're not there, they don't react the same. There's not something in them.
Right.
Like if they are aware that there is an object in their body that wasn't there 10 seconds ago, it's alarming. Adrenaline is a vasoconstrictor, tightens up the vessels, and they go far.
Right. Yeah.
Farther.
Right.
You don't want that. We want them down in 50 yards.
Okay.
And that's the goal of that strategy, and that's why I say in the dirt is the way to go. Get it through them.
We're saying in the dirt. We're talking about you drive that arrow all the way through them, you find it in the dirt somewhere out there on the other side. That's the goal. That's what you're trying to get done. That's the point of putting together a bow and an arrow that is going to go out and perform well for you when you get afield your whitetail hunting. So much of that stuff, these guys go out and, whenever we were all starting doing that, when they first made it okay in Texas, yeah, it was hit and miss and just whatever we could shoot the best.
100%.
But there's a whole lot more to it if you're going to actually be successful.
That is absolutely true. There's great debates about bow poundage. We have found that to not be really a significant contributor. It is to arrow penetration. The hardest thing is arrow flight.
Okay.
And it is very similar to, I assume some of your audience, I'm certain you have, hand-loaded ammunition.
Yeah, right.
It gets pretty ticky-tacky.
Right. It's within, you see your competition shooters when they're hand loading. Yeah, they're piddling. Right.
Right. They're down to half a grain. So, on my YouTube channel, I have great video, amassed a ton of arrow flight videos, and bare shaft's the only way to go. So you actually take a shaft with no feathers, no fletching, and you mess with the arrow or the bow until it shoots at 7 yards, a perfect bullet hole in paper.
Okay, with no fletchings.
No fletchings.
Okay.
And what you're trying to create is perfect launch conditions.
Okay.
So what an arrow that is bare shaft perfect is what we call that. So
okay.
It's 5 to 7 yards, no further. And when you shoot through paper, there's just the diameter. It looks like you shot a gun, and it's a bullet hole.
Okay.
There's no tears. It's not flying sideways. And what that does is, that means at launch, it is launching super clean. Then you can add fletchings.
Okay.
And they are a massive stabilizer.
Right.
Correcting for weird angles. You are having to spin to the left. You're not in perfect shooting position. A little torquey, right? You're in a tent blind. He's supposed to come out here, and he comes out over there in that hole. And you are not perfectly aiming down the shot line with your hips all in line in perfect form. You got to rotate. Well, that changes the whole geometry of the shot.
Right.
Changes.
Okay.
You see this in the long range gun world, where if you're shooting off a rock if you're hunting,
right,
and you have to take a 400-yard shot off a rock and you put your jacket up there, It is not the same as when you are on a tripod, prone at the ranch, bombing away and showing how good you are.
Right.
I'm being a smart aleck there. I understand that, but that shooting condition allows for a little bit of tilt of the scope that you don't necessarily see.
Mm-hmm.
It's not perfectly level. It certainly isn't the most ideal. It could be 0 degrees, gun super cold, and you're sending 1/400.
Yeah.
When you're shooting on the range at your place, on your 7th shot, I guarantee you after 7 shots, I'm shooting better than I was the first one.
Well, sure.
Because you get the feel of the gun and all that. So what I'm trying to state here is the cleaner the launch, the minute that shaft leaves the string, your fate is sealed.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control it anymore. It is now a free-flying thing. The cleaner that thing will launch with a bare shaft, then you put fletchings on it, it's going to be, the fletchings will, anything you add, should your shooting position be, 15-foot tripod shooting down and to the left,
Right.
rotating your body. That adds geometrical torque, and that may throw that bare shaft off,
Okay.
but the fletchings are there. What most of the industry does is they try to make the arrow fly with fletchings. They try to make it fly. You can do that in the shop. And you could do that with your buddies in your flip-flops smoking cigarettes out in the back. But when it's 31 degrees, you've been waiting, you got to pee, you ate all your little Debbies, and here he comes. Here comes the one.
Right.
But he doesn't come exactly where he's supposed to. Let's say he's rutted up. Not super rutted, but he's pushing a doe around, but he's stopping. And you got to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You are not in the same perfectly standing position, and that's when, if you've relied on fletchings to fly it, and you get a little geometrically off in your shooting position, it could fly a little weird.
Okay.
Let's say with the boys out back smoking cigarettes, you're shooting perfect. And because you have to rotate to the left, hips to the right to shoot out the left-hand window of a tent blind, and that flight pushes the arrow 3 inches left or right.
Mm-hmm.
And they move.
Right.
That becomes 6.
Right.
Your life has just changed. That's why you want to achieve perfect, as good as you can. And then the other component, obviously, is the broadhead type.
All right. Okay. So, wait a second. I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick break and thank the folks who let us come on here every Saturday morning. We'll be right back. Thank goodness for all the great sponsors we have here at News from the Camp House. H-E-B Food Stores. That's Stephen Tice at H-E-B. He helps me. He helps the community. He's a great man. I'm so thankful H-E-B loosened him up, lets him go around and sponsor a few things. H-E-B's got all your food needs. It's the greatest food store we got here in Columbus. Thank goodness for H-E-B. First State Bank. You go over to First State Bank, they'll take care of all your loans, all your deposits, your savings, anything you need. Bunch of great hometown people over there. You got Celia Tobias, John Pollock. Everybody over there is looking out for you. Miss Barbara Barta. It's a great bunch of folks at the First State Bank is also sponsoring News from the Camp House. First State Bank takes care of all my business. Baumgart Agency, Susan Baumgart at the Baumgart Agencies, her and Germania. She told me to plug Germania. Germania is an insurance that she likes everybody to know about. The Baumgart Agencies. Miss Susan and I are classmates, being classmates. She got me out of high school, sat right beside her, put us in alphabetical order where I could copy. And Susan Baumgart over at the Baumgart Agency, taking care of all your insurance needs. Lyco Realty, one of the original sponsors of News from the Camp House. Lyco Realty, the oldest real estate company in the county, and for the last 3 years voted the favorite realtor in the county. Lyco Realty, that's Miss Kimberly Johnson, that's Crockett's granddaughter. More kinfolks and classmates and great people from Colorado County. People from Colorado County helping people from Colorado County. That's great. Oh, thank goodness for all these wonderful people come to me want to be sponsors for News from the Camp House. Good morning and welcome back to this second half of this week's News from the Camp House. we're here with the Ranch Fairy. He's explaining how he puts his bows and arrows together. He's gotten real technical with this about getting your bow right, getting your arrow right. You should always get a complete pass through, and that should happen every time on a whitetail. And even on a bad shot, it should happen every time with a whitetail. All right, and we were talking about shooting these arrows with no fletchings on them and getting them perfect. But how do you do that exactly? I mean, what are you looking for in an arrow? What kind of an arrow? I understand there's different weights. But you lost me a little bit on what. What am I looking for? Do I go out and just look for graphite? I throw the old aluminums away.
Oh, okay.
How do I know what kind of an arrow that I'm supposed to get in the first place?
Okay, well, you can go look for Ranch Fairy test kits. We have test kits, but the carbon arrow is absolutely superior to all things.
Okay.
They are very consistent. They don't bend. Like, they don't take micro bends like we used to have to deal with aluminums in the old days.
Okay.
The components are pretty simple. They're available everywhere. Should your arrows all break, you could go to Walmart and get very similar spine stiffness arrows and probably get away with it if you really had to.
Okay.
Right? There are spine charts I shoot 65 pounds, and I'm a 29-inch draw length.
Okay.
So I've got 29-inch arrows, but I shoot a lot of weight. For the industry, I shoot about an arrow that's about 200 grains heavier than everybody else. So a standard arrow for a guy who goes to the shop or listens to the main marketing message of the archery world shoots about a 420 grain arrow. Mm-hmm. Mine start at 630 and go up about another set that's 715 for nail guy and big hogs that I get on.
Okay.
So this is pretty common in the supersonic world. The heavier bullets tend to do a lot better, both lethality and as far as stability and grouping. It's a broad statement. The world-class guys tend to shoot a little heavier bullets in the paper world, right?
Okay.
So we're using the mass to create momentum on target and that perfect arrow flight that we talked about in the first half. Mm-hmm. And then by far for getting it in the dirt, which we established early on, that's my standard. It may not be yours or whoever's listening, right? But that's the standard we're going to work with here for this conversation. A 2-blade, one piece, preferably solid steel machined broadhead, has absolutely no fail points.
All right.
It doesn't have screws. It doesn't have a punch point. It doesn't have super thin blades. It's super durable. Mm-hmm. And then you have to learn to sharpen.
Right.
Which is old school.
That's logical, yeah.
But these days, sharpening is a forgotten art. And those broadheads down to strop, all the way to a strop, and get them where they are literally, the hairs jump. Mm-hmm. Not fall on the blade. Jump off. And that all those components, perfect arrow flight, a broadhead that just won't bend, like it's not going fast enough. And then razor sharp, all those three components. There's a little more to it, but that's how you're going to get in the dirt. Okay. The deer's not going to feel it. The shaft's not going to be in them. We kind of talked around that a little bit from a physiology standpoint. Right. I mean, I shoot 200-pound hogs and I have arrows skip 20 yards past them.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not kidding. It's a completely different world. Now, I got to be on the ground. If I shoot out of a tripod, that don't work because it goes in the dirt, like sticks in them, right?
Sure.
But if I'm on the ground and a 200-pound pig comes out with a 650 grain arrow and a single bevel broadhead,
it's going to go all the way through. Right.
Every time.
Yeah.
The only thing that stops them on a pig that big, the only thing that stops them is if they duck hard and you hit the scapula and the spine. it will stop them.
Oh.
But a chest wall hit.
Right. All right, now, okay, and all right, I was saying this other day, we were talking about it, and I said, well, okay, I guided archery hunters in Wyoming, elk hunting.
Right.
We had guys who consistently got pass-throughs on elk. We'd have 4 or 5 hunters that were good shots. They always took good shots. They were good hunters, and they consistently killed elk, and always got a complete pass-through. And it was my suggestion to the outfitter was find out what those guys are doing and put that on your website so people know what to bring.
100%.
That's it seemed logical to me.
Well, what's funny is I am BC before carbon. I'm old enough.
Okay.
I'm 57. So I'm old enough that all we had was aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know we were shooting 600 grain arrows.
Yeah.
2117s and 2219s. Those things were tanks.
Okay.
Compared to the carbons, which are like 9 grains per inch.
Mm-hmm.
So we were already shooting because that's all we had.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to go hunting. So we had pretty big pin gaps. We had a ton of slow bows back then. And we were shooting heavy arrows. And I know you know this. You're pre-Thunderhead too. We had Bear Razor heads. We had Zwickies.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of other contacts. But you went to the archery shop. There were like 6 Broadheads or 7.
Right.
And then the Thunderhead came along. We all said, wow, you can replace the blades. I remember that. Those. The Wasp was there, but it was kind of annoying. The Savora was a piece of garbage. But primarily, this is back in Pearson. And we came out of Ben Pearson and Fred Bear, and they all shot cut on contact, 2-blade, or had little bleeder blades on the back. But they were essentially a cutting nose broadhead.
Right.
And you were seeing the arrows go through stuff.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Now, the only thing the outfitter that I was working for that time disallowed was mechanicals.
100%.
He completely, he put it in his literature. Whenever he's booking a hunt, he would tell people not to bring those things. And if they showed up with them, he didn't care if they didn't go to the mountains. He said, we're going to go to the shop and get you some broadheads. He would not allow anybody to use mechanical hunting elk. He said he said they just didn't work.
We've got, I don't know the outfitters, and I wouldn't say their names if I did, but I met 4 outfitters this year that aren't taking archery hunters anymore in Africa.
Yeah.
Because of the losses.
Right.
And I don't know what the broadhead platforms are or whatever.
Yeah. It's, that was kind of it was kind of disappointing that, we would have years when we did real well and pretty much packed everything we shot out of the mountains. And then all of a sudden next year, you had guys losing elk, and it would, bad shots, bad equipment. I usually blame it on a bad shot.
Sometimes that's going to happen. Okay. Yeah. But you can't have, I can accept I've lost 2 pigs on video and they moved as I shot, and the arrow hit 4 inches from where it was supposed to. One of them lived. 2 weeks later, he was running around.
Yeah.
I can accept me shooting poorly or something happening. Murphy, okay?
Right.
Me,
right.
The idiot, or Murphy. We can accept that, okay? I can't accept the arrow system, dulling, bending, breaking, stopping.
Right. Yeah.
You can buy the components.
Right. You can put together a bow and arrow that's going to work every time, and it's just a matter of if a person does it right.
That's correct. So we're going to all shoot. We're going to practice. We're going to know our effective range, get the best sights and release, and practice. But it's unacceptable to have the arrows, like just you shooting, like every third one just does weird stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't happen. And if it does, that's fine. What you should do is explore. Like if you're shooting a current arrow setup and you occasionally have one that goes weird, Rather than just say, it mostly works, why don't you say, I wonder why? How can I narrow that up? If you're 75% effective, can you be 90?
Right.
By making some changes? You can. Troy at ranchfairy.com.
Yeah.
Email me.
Yeah. All right. No, tell people how to find you.
Okay. Instagram's with Ranch Fairy. You can type Ranch Fairy into the Google. I picked that name because I'm the ranch manager at our ranch, and I started to make fun of myself as the Ranch Fairy. Everybody wanted me to come fix everything.
Right.
So the fairy could just put his wings down and just fix whatever you broke and leave.
Yeah.
And I decided to use the name for my channel, and nobody had owned it, which you can imagine no one wants to be a Ranch Fairy, right? So it worked like crazy. So it's pretty simple to find. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, just Ranch Fairy.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for being with us this morning.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Folks, I hope you got something out of it this morning. A little bit about archery hunting. Everybody's got to get ready, practice all summer, get ready. Next October, we'll be back to whitetail hunting in Texas. Hell, September, we'll be elk hunting in Wyoming. So get ready. All right. Get a hold of the Ranch Fairy if you got any questions. Hope you enjoyed it this week. This weekend's edition was also brought to us by the Shaw's Bend Social Club. Country club folks who don't have a country club. Now go out, have a good weekend, have a lot of fun. Be safe, and y'all just remember, pretty much any day is sure a good day to be out in the woods.